Good afternoon to all the participants on this call. Before we proceed to the call, let me remind you that the discussion may contain forward-looking statements that may involve known or unknown risks, uncertainties, and other factors. It must be viewed in conjunction with our business risks that could cause future result performance or achievements to differ significantly from what is expressed or implied by such forward-looking statements. Please note that we have mailed the results and the presentation, and the same are available on the company's website. In case if you have not received the same, you can write to us and we'll be happy to send the same over to you. To take us through the results and answer your questions today, we have the management of Butterfly Gandhimathi Appliances Limited, represented by Mr. PMG Mayuresan, VP, Finance and Strategy, Mr. Narasimhan Rose and Mr. R. Nagarajan from the finance team, along with Mr. Anand Mudra, Management Consultant to the company. We'll start the call with a brief overview of the quarter gone past and then conduct Q&A session. With that said, I'll now hand over the call to Mr. Mayuresan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Binay. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is in good health. The results of the company are uploaded on the exchanges and hope everyone has reviewed it. Happy to share that this is the best ever quarter for the company. We have reported the highest revenue and profitability for the quarter. This is because of the huge demand of products, both in offline and online channels. All the product categories have registered healthy growth. We saw higher growth this quarter also because Diwali is early this year. Due to unprecedented rise in cost of raw material and continued volatility, the gross margins got impacted. We are hopeful to improve gross margin in the future. However, the EBITDA margin of the company was stable at around 11% due to higher revenue for the quarter. The net working capital days of the company is around 36 days, which is sustainable in the long run. Now we can start Q&A.
Thank you. So anyone with a question, please raise your hand, or alternately, please type your name on the chat board. We have the first question from Akash Jain. Please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, Mayuresan, first of all, I think huge congratulations to you and the team. I think numbers have been quite brilliant, and they have been quite brilliant for a while now. I have a couple of questions, Mayuresan. One is, we saw your numbers, and also your large peer, TTK Prestige, also came out with some great numbers yesterday. So one is just a little bit of sense on what is driving this growth, right? One is possibly Diwali is 10 days ahead than last year, so maybe some preponement of, or some sales have shifted from Q3 to Q2, or again, maybe the unorganized or the smaller players are still struggling to get their products in the market and their distribution channels are stretched. So can you give us a little bit of sense, because like 35% growth on a reasonably large base of last year for not just you but even your peers is a little surprising. So I think one little bit of sense on what is driving this kind of growth, and that will be useful. And I think the second thing, in a way you touched upon, but on the gross margin side, clearly there has been a significant decline in gross margins for us given where commodity prices have been. But our decline in gross margins have been higher, and it seems that TTK Prestige has taken price hike, and so the gross margins have not been impacted. So where are we on price hikes, and where do you see gross margin pressures for the rest of the year? I think these are the two large questions I wanted. Thank you.
Yes, hi Akash. See, if you see our H1, one of the main reason why we felt the growth was there is a fantastic demand in the market, both in offline as well as online channels. If you can't compare this Q2 to last Q2, one of the major reasons is Diwali has been preponed by 10 days. Majority of sales for festive seasons, Diwali happened in Q2 as compared to some happened in Q3 last year. So that is one of the main difference from Q2 to Q2. So throughout for the year, if you compare for the year, our target is to grow to 20-25%, which we've already shared to you all. That is something which we feel we are comfortable to do. Even though there is a huge growth in H1, which is about 50%, for the full year, we feel that it will be around 25%. Last year, H2 was completely normal. So this year, this kind of growth can't be expected in H2, but there'll be a comfortable growth. We feel that we will be about 20-25% growth. Also, we had already said that we will be one of the fastest growing companies in the organized trade. We will continue to do that, and even in Q2, we feel that we will be one of the fastest growing companies.
My second question was on the gross margin side.
Okay. On the gross margins, yes, there were a huge impact because of rising raw material cost, which we were not able to pass it completely. This financial year, we had increased prices of about 4 to 5% in almost all the product categories. And we are planning to do it in the month of November. Gross margin, we feel, is a temporary phenomena because you can't immediately get it passed on to consumer. But over the future, we are very, very confident that it will not impact in the longer run.
So post the price hike in November, gross margin hopefully should improve. Obviously, depending on how the raw material price also goes up. But the idea is to maybe not go back to 42%, but at least claw back some of the gross margin pressure you had in.
Yes, you're right. It might not be 42% for this year, but we want to go back to that levels in the next year. That is what we are working on.
Just one last clarification, Mayuresan, on the debtor side. Again, the higher debtors that we are seeing, and obviously it is better to compare September to September because of the seasonality in sales rather than looking March to September. But if you look at September to September, again, a little bit of higher numbers is largely from an absolute perspective, not from number of debtor days, but it is also because of the preponement of some Diwali sales. Is that also impacting a slightly higher absolute number on debtors, which will then gradually normalize for the rest of the year by December or on March?
Yeah, you're right. It is majorly because of the festive sales. Because Diwali is earlier this year, and we've done a lot of sales in the month of September. So that is the reason the value seems to be a little high. But on days, we are very, very comfortable. Yes, compared to last half yearly, it has in fact come down.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayuresan. Thanks.
But Akash, you can't look it from absolute amount. It's always relative. If we have done 400 crore sales, the debtors will be relative to that number.
I understand. See, the point I'm trying to make is that even the inventory looks high, right? And you can say that the sales have been good for the last 6 months, but again, next 6 months, some of that sales will normalize because the base year on year, the number for next year. So I don't know how to exactly look at it, but if you look at the inventory days and debtor days, we have obviously improved a lot on creditor days, which is helping our net working capital. But the point I'm trying to make is maybe also because of preponement of Diwali, the number on an absolute basis also looks higher. I understand your point that you have to look at debtor days
in terms of number of days only.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Naresh Kataria. Please go ahead.
Sorry, am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, congrats, Mayuresan, Akash, everyone, the entire team. Great performance. My question was on input cost hike, and your EBITDA margin is commendable, although gross margin is hit a little bit. My question is related to demand because prices have been hiked, and I'm observing everyone has hiked prices. Does it at some point start affecting demand? Because maybe the initial price hike, people stock more, or so. Yeah. What our sense on because all the prices are up for almost everything it goes into our products.
Yes, Naresh, we are very, very confident in increasing prices. In this year, we have increased it around about 5% across all the product categories. We don't want to increase it very high to maintain the margins. The main reason is when you increase it in a very high way, when the pricing starts stabilizing, you can't reduce it in the market. It's not easy to reduce. So we don't want to be in a situation where we don't want to affect the demand. That is the reason we are little cautionate in rising prices.
Okay. Thank you. And my last question is on our overall spread of our company's product sales. We are predominantly a south-based company. Are we observing better growth in north? And are there any? I've seen some new product categories in the market, blenders or milk cookers or something like that. So how are they doing? I mean, where will the next 2-3 year growth come from? Will it be geographical new products, or just want some sense of where the growth is coming from?
See, new geographies have been improving a lot in the last few years. If you see last 3 years, we've been growing at an average growth rate of more than 50%. Even the first half, we had a very healthy growth rate in non-South markets. So non-South is one area where we are growing faster, but our base is small. So that is one area which will continue to grow faster. And one good thing which we have seen this year is even the southern markets have grown significantly well in H1. Even in Q2, we've done significantly well because Q1 was completely off last year, so it can't be compared because of very, very low base effect. But even if we take Q2, we've done phenomenally well in even the south states.
Got it. And last point is on, we had a medium-term vision of 1,000 crores, which I believe we are comfortably hitting this year. Do we have any long-term vision? When do we hit, let's say, 2,000 crores? Does it take 2, 3, 4 years? What's the vision from a long-term perspective?
About 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years, 2,000 crores?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm done.
We have the next question from the line of Priyam Himawat. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Mayuresh. Two questions, both in terms of a long-term nature. So you just highlighted that we are aiming for a 2,000 crore revenue mark in say 4 years. So structurally, we've always maintained that 1,000 crore will be doing 10% EBITDA margin, and at around 1,400 crore, we'll be reaching that 13-14 EBITDA margin, which our peers have been reporting. So just wanted to break this up into two parts, mainly South and non-South. So our non-South is around 30% of our sales. So is it that we are making already that 13-14% EBITDA margin in the South portion, and we are investing in other parts of businesses, and hence our EBITDA margins are lower?
There is no big difference between South and non-South. Even non-South is profitable for us now. But this year, there's been a dip in our expected EBITDA margin because of the gross margin impact. Otherwise, we are very, very comfortably, we will be doing higher EBITDA margin even for this quarter. It would have been at least 2.5% higher to what we've seen today. That is only because of the impact of raw material in the last few months. But if that we foresee to stabilize soon, and we are pretty confident that we should be going anywhere between 12-14% EBITDA margin soon in the next 2 years.
Okay, so from FY23 onwards, when a gross margin reached that historical 40-42% mark and our sales hit around 1,400 crores, are we looking at 13-14% EBITDA margin?
Next year, it will be around, the target is around 12%, 11-12%.
Okay, all right. And secondly, just a derivative of this. So wanted to ask you, what is the advertisement spend for the first half of this year?
Advertisement first half is around 10.5 to 11%.
Okay, and we've always maintained that our advertising spends currently is fixed in is variable in nature, but it will remain fixed largely. And as we hit that 1,400 crore mark, it will be around 100 to 110 crore. It will remain stable. So is that understanding still right? Or because we're investing in other markets, we'll have to increase this spend?
Yes, today it's variable. From next year onwards, it will be more of a fixed nature. There'll be an inflationary increment of 5-6%, and it will continue to go in that way.
Okay. And just your last thoughts on exports. How are we planning to increase exports? Because the peer group is talking largely about increasing their exports. So when you talk about the 2000 crore revenue mark, what is our export number which you've budgeted in the next 4 years?
Export has a phenomenal potential for us, especially since we do a lot of manufacturing in-house. And not only that, we are very, very strong in terms of pricing also, in terms of manufacturing at a in a very cost-efficient way. That is our core strength. So we very well feel that we can capture exports in a big manner. Unfortunately, we couldn't focus on that in a bigger way, but we've started doing that. And for sure, we feel exports can generate at least 200 crores of revenue in the next 3-4 years' time.
Okay. Thanks a lot. That's all from my side.
Thank you.
We have the next question from Sanjay Shah. Please go ahead. If you could unmute your line, sir.
Yeah, I'm audible now? Audible?
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Mayureshan. Good morning. Hi, Anand. So, really exciting quarter. Congratulations to you all gentlemen on the board. Mayureshan, my question was, since last 8 quarters I have been seeing, and since long you have been struggling, and now you are on the right platform, and all the decisions and all the strategies have worked very well in favor of our company's growth, and we are back to normal on the old glories. So now from here on, when we are talking of another milestone with the export also with that, what are the strategies or new products, new catalogs, or something different what we are planning where we can have a upper hand than our competitors, or even take market shares from our competitors?
Sanjay, we are very confident that we will be growing faster than our competitors, and we've shown that in the last 3 to 4 years now. See, one reason why we feel that we can achieve our revenue target for the next 3-4 years, there is a lot of potential. One area which we talked before was the export. Even in the domestic market, there are areas like the modern retail where we are very, very small. We feel there's a huge potential to grow there. And there are newer product categories. Currently, the major product categories in our company are the mixer grinders, the gas stoves, pressure cookers, tabletop grinders. We feel that there are product categories like non-stick cookware, vacuum flasks, and you have electric chimneys, induction stove, and electric rice cooker. We feel that there is a huge potential in growth in these categories. And each product category can deliver about 100 crore of revenue for us in the next 3-4 years. And there is, even on the markets, non-South markets will continue to grow faster. So we feel that on next 3-4 years, we don't see a huge challenge. Only thing we'll have to do in a very cautionate way is bring the right products at the right pricing. That is something which is getting developed in-house, where we are focusing more, which will help our sales team to help growth.
That's great. Now, in this two quarters, especially this quarter, which of the area where we have penetrated or got a success, which we were not there previously, and which are the new areas where we are focusing now in India?
Geographically, we have not enhanced our presence. We are currently there across India in online channels. In offline, we are present only in some pockets, majorly in West, some pockets of North, and some pockets of East. We haven't enhanced our distribution presence across India. That is something which we are developing slowly, because you can't go and step everywhere at the same time. Something which we are developing year on year. Because year on year, we want to add 1 or 2 more states and develop there and go from there. That is the target.
So this quarter, our sales growth was supported by online sales, which was what could be the percentage of total sales?
See, online, we had maintained that it will be between 30 to 40% of our revenue, and it will continue to do that in an annualized basis. Online has grown good for us. Even offline channels have been growing very good in the last few months.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks for answering my questions, and good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Take care. Happy Diwali too.
Thank you, Ji.
So we have a few questions on the chat board. So Ritvik said, what is the sales mix currently between South and non-South? And at 2000 crore, what will this mix look like?
At 2000 crore, we expect the sales mix to be around 65% South and 35% non-South.
Okay. And what is the capex spend for FY22 and 23? And what is the payout policy as we are generating healthy cash flows and are debt free? So he asks.
Capex is something which is ongoing. We had earlier indicated that we will spend around 30 crores of capex, where our revenue can we can go to about 1400 or 1500 crores of revenue, and it is on target.
And Rani Kumari asks, are you planning to enter into new product categories?
Newer product categories, we are getting into few. I can't disclose it here, but we are also getting into newer categories.
Okay. The last question on the chat board from Surit Devra. So he asked the new categories like non-stick cookware, vacuum flask, induction stove, electric chimneys, rice cooker. So will this also be manufactured in-house, or if traded, are the manufacturers in China?
See, currently it's outsourced. Nothing is coming from China. It's all been bought from the Indian companies, and actually they're all not new for us. We've been in that category for more than 10 years now. But there is an increased focus which is going to start, which we've already started, and it's growing faster in the last few years, and it will continue to be a big growth areas for us in the near future.
We have the next question from Hari Agarwal. Please unmute and go ahead, sir.
Sure. So I have one question. Basically, just wanted to understand, from your current capacity that we already have, what kind of revenues we can achieve?
See, capacity, it's a little hard to answer because time and again we are investing in capacity. Whenever there is a need, immediately we do that. There is a lot of balancing activities which improve our capacity. So if you see this year, the growth projections we have done, there is a small investment which have already gone this year, and there is some investment which is happening. Like we said before, we will be doing around 30 crore of capacity enhancement, where we can go up to 1500 crore of revenue with that investment.
Thank you. We have the next question from Survi Soni. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is on exports. You mentioned that we are targeting around 200 crores of revenue in export in next 2 to 3 years. So firstly, I would like to know how much export have we done in the first half, and what are the export numbers that we are targeting for full year this year, and what is our broad strategy around exports?
Export we have not done in a bigger way. Last year we did about 10 crore of revenue. First half, it's been around similar lines on a half-yearly basis. Export is something which we're working on, and with a completely new strategy we are bringing in. We are already talking with about 15 distributors, where we want to target majorly countries where there is a large Indian diaspora, and there is an opportunity for if we have some capacity left, there is an opportunity for private labeling also. That is not something which we are thinking of currently, but there is an opportunity for that also.
Okay, so do we have any contracts in hand, or we are still at the exploration stage?
No, we are at the exploration phase, but whoever we are talking with, we are very, very confident that that is definitely possible.
So, okay, so just to reiterate, the 200 crores is what we are targeting in next 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. And are our margins in export similar to what we do in domestic, or will there be any difference?
It will be similar.
It will be similar. Okay. Thank you.
So we one correction. We have said 2,000 crore in 4 years.
No,
I
200
heard.
crores for exports I was mentioning.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question on the chat board. So what are the advantages of manufacturing in India? Do you get any incentives, etc.? So this is from Harmendra Gandhi.
So we currently don't have any incentives. We've been doing manufacturing from day one of this company. This company is around 35 years old, right? From day one, more than 80% of products are manufactured in-house. Even it continues to be the same. We are not taking any incentives. If we do a lot of exports, there is a PLI, but we have not applied for that. Since the exports are small, we have not applied for that.
Thank you. We have the next question from Pawan Kumar. Please unmute your line and go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Mayuresan and Anand. Congratulations on the good results. I wanted to understand the price hikes, what you have taken. You have indicated you have taken some 5 to 6% this year. That means, is it the calendar year you are talking about? And what are the plans for taking further price hikes?
Oh, this financial year, we've done about 5%. It happened in early Q2.
Mm-hmm.
We are also discussing on having another price hike in the month of November. Just after the season, we are thinking of having that.
Okay. Okay. Will that be enough for you to actually claw back the gross margins to at least maybe 42% range, or it would still be difficult?
No, it's hard to say because the prices are very volatile. Even today, the prices are increasing. It is still not stabilized. It's very hard to say, but that is something which we want to go back to the earlier levels. That's the reason we've said it might not be possible this financial year, but it is very well possible for the next financial year.
Okay. Okay. And any kind of sales coming from the what should I say, replacement segment, in the sense, for example, when 3 or 4 years back, when the government schemes used to be there, a lot of people got those particular appliances, but does that, I mean, you know, that cycle also help? Replacement cycle also help, no?
It's hard to say that. But the mixer grinders and market is growing good in Tamil Nadu. So we can't attribute it as if it's for the replacement demand or it's a new demand. But there is a good growth which is happening in Tamil Nadu. We are seeing that.
Pawan, it's difficult to distinguish, but obviously we are getting good growth in Tamil Nadu in all those products.
Okay. 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 And just on the mixer grinder part, what would it be as a broad proportion of our revenue as of now?
Mixer grinder is the largest product for us. I can't disclose that numbers today, okay, but it is the number one product for us.
Okay, that's fine, Mahesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
It's a request to the participants to please state your name along with your institution name before beginning to ask a question to the management. So we have the next question from Disha Seth. Please unmute your line and go ahead.
This is Disha Seth from Anvil Share Broking. Sir, wanted to check what is the current mix of outsourced to in-house products, and what will it be going forward, and how will the impact of margins on outsourced to in-house that way? And second, I just missed the answer on how are the margins going to be in coming quarters, since we have taken a price hike in early Q2 and we plan to take in November. Will it compensate for the price increases in raw material? Will the margin stay stable from 11% which we did in this quarter? That's it.
Okay. Price hike, we've done about 4 to 5% in the month of July. And there is one more price hike which we are looking at the possibility in the month of November. We've not decided on it completely. Even with that, it will take few more quarters to get into the 42% range because the raw material is still volatile, prices are still increasing. So it's hard to comment on it today, but we are doing whatever is possible to maintain margins. That is something which we are working on. On the first question was outsourced to in-house, right? So on the outsourced, currently in-house manufacturing is about 85% of our revenue. In the next 3-4 years, we feel that in-house will continue to be more than 70%. 30% will be from the outsourced products. Since the outsourced products are growing faster, the ratio will change slightly towards there. And the margin difference is not huge when it comes to EBITDA. On the gross margins, there is a difference of 3-4% because product to product, category to category, the margin differential also plays a role.
Okay, and sir, just one on the second question. I meant the margins of Q2 would be maintained, right? Because we are taking price hike and the impact will come in Q3.
You mean for the Q3 and Q4?
Yeah. Margins of
No,
Q2 will be.
It will not be right because Q2 was about 400 crore of revenue. You'll not have this kind of revenue in Q3 and Q4. So there'll be annualized. We want to maintain similar margins to last year.
Okay.
So we'll have to look at it in an annualized way.
Okay, you mean the revenue won't be same because of the higher base last year. That's why.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. We have the next question from Akshat Haria. Please go ahead.
Hi, congratulations on good set of numbers again. So Mayuresan, I was just working out some numbers, and if we look at it, our last year's revenue, if I apply 25% growth rate on that, and then we subtract our first half revenue, what we are effectively looking at is only a 5% growth in H2 over last year's H2. While already our value growth itself post these 2 or 3 price hikes which we would have taken since last H2 to this H2 would be in the range of 15%. So in essence, are we looking at a volume degrowth in the second half, or is there some understanding gap which is there?
Volume will definitely not be degrown, but Q3 last year cannot be compared to Q3 this year because of Diwali timing. Diwali last year was during November 14th. This year Diwali is on November 4th. Majority of sales, festive sales happened in Q2. Last year there was a good portion which happened in Q3. So it can't be compared. So if you have to compare, you have to compare Q2 and Q3 together, Q2 and Q3 together. So that is the best way to see the growth. So you can't compare H2 last year to this year. But on the volume side, we are pretty sure that there'll be a volume growth because price increase will only be 3-4% or 5% maximum. It won't be beyond that.
Okay, last H2 to this H2, price hike will be 5%. But if you look at the raw material inflation, which we've seen in various of our raw materials that we consume in most of our products, mainly PVC, plastic, steel, copper, everything is up by almost 20-30%. So how is it that we'll be able to maintain our current even 38% gross margins with only a 5% increase in our final price?
See, there is a lot of value addition. Whatever we are seeing, all the primary raw materials, but you have a lot of components in our product. For example, if you take a product like a mixer grinder, plastics is only 15-20% of the cost. When 80-85% is different components. So not all components have gone up. Major components have gone up, but not all the components have gone up. On the other side, there is also manufacturing efficiency. Now the growth is happening with the growth, with the cost of making the product has come down. So overall, we feel that the gross margins can be maintained, or it will only go up by a few, by about 0.5% to 1% for the Q3 and Q4.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a few questions on the chat board. So is again one repetitive question from Rani Kumari. Says, as a shareholder from Bihar has a huge business potential in appliances market in eastern India. So have you any plans to focus on this state as it has a huge population? And as I see, Jharkhand and West Bengal have more presence of these products of our company.
Definitely, yes. Our natural extension from the east is next is Gujarat. So it's a huge state. It has a very huge potential. But to get into retail presence, you'll have to get in a very calculated manner, such a way that you'll have to capture the market share without losing margins. That is something which we are working on.
Thank you. We have next question from Harmendra Gandhi, which says, entering into North market has been difficult for other consumer companies. How do you see this, and what are you doing differently?
We are not getting. That's the reason we stressed upon that we are not getting everywhere at the same time. We are getting into fewer markets, getting our presence enhanced there, and getting a strong presence there. From there, we will be going into other markets. One day you can't get into all the markets in a huge way. So slowly you'll have to enhance your presence, gain market share, then you'll have to go. That is the reason we are very, very cautious in getting into new markets.
Thank you. Vipul Sangvi asks, some of the metal prices are softening over the last few weeks. Do you see that helping your margins going ahead? And which other raw material where you are witnessing inflation pressure?
Still, the raw material prices are volatile. Aluminium have started increasing in the last few months. Stainless steel has softened, but still the prices are volatile. It's very unpredictable. That's the reason we are looking at another price hike for the month of November.
Thank you. We have the next question from Nirav Vasa from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. So, sir, I think if I read the call correctly, what I heard is we are also planning to get into white labeling. Is that right?
There is an opportunity for white labeling for export market. We have not thought about it. We are also exploring the opportunity only if there is an excess capacity.
Okay.
It will be a very, very small. Even if we start, it will be small to start with.
Exactly, because
large part of export business is white labeling only.
Okay.
For most of the players.
Exactly. So the white labeling is only for exports, not for domestic market.
Yes.
Perfect, sir. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have the next question from Aditya Mehta from GK Capital. Please go ahead. Please unmute your line, Aditya, and you can ask the question.
I think he's still on mute.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hi, Mayuresan. Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on great set of numbers. So, Mayuresan, just want to understand what will the impact of current inflationary environment on the consumer preferences? So, will they start moving to lower price product as and when we increase prices, or they will prefer more branded products over the unorganized sector?
So branded, even with price increase, we are seeing that the branded products are getting sold more. The growth of branded products are very high compared to the local products or unbranded products. That is what we are seeing. The consumer is generally preferring to choose a branded product, number one. Number two, we are not seeing that they are going into a low price product, in a value product from a mid or premium. They are not going there. We are not seeing that currently.
So whether the price gap between unorganized and branded players have decreased now because of inflationary prices?
Yes, it is decreasing it has been decreasing for the last few years. With GST, there was a price bridging which happened. Even today, it's happening because a lot of unorganized are finding it difficult to sustain. So that is something which we are seeing in the market.
Okay, so eventually organized are taking market share gain from unorganized sector. Okay.
Yes.
And one more question. So what was the growth rate in e-commerce and offline channel?
E-commerce is growing very well for us. Q2, we had a very good e-commerce sales. Even offline is doing very, very good in the last few months. Offline channels was whenever there is a lockdown, there's a problem in the offline channel. Immediately after lockdown from the month of May, the offline channels have been doing very, very well for us, even for the market. It is growing, in fact, very good. One channel where we are not growing by taking a strategic call is the oil company, where we decided we want to keep it in a lower base.
Okay, so can we share the figures difference between e-commerce growth rate and offline growth rate?
We can't give that. It's become a huge channel for us. It's a very huge data. But e-commerce, we estimate it to be between 30-40% of our sales.
Okay. And just last question upon the tax rate. So what is the tax rate for us?
The tax rate is currently we are following the older regime. In FY17 we had a loss. We are utilizing that credits. That's over, and there is a MAT credit which is going on. So currently we are at 3% levels. But from next year we feel that we can go to a newer regime with 25%.
From FY23.
Even though in our balance sheet, when you see a 33-34% income tax, the payouts is not that much because of MAT credits.
Okay. So from FY23 we can go to new regime.
Yes.
Okay. That's it from my side. Happy Diwali and all the best to you.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
We have the next question from Pawan Kumar. Please go ahead.
Can you just give us an idea about the interest cost, because it is coming at around 3 to 5 crores per quarter, and on the debt on the balance sheet seems to be around only 24-25 crores. So what is the what is the sustainable interest cost levels, and how does it work?
Interest cost is coming down year on year, quarter on quarter. It is coming down. Here, as you see in the screen, last year Q2 was about 3.8 crores in Q2. This year it's around 2.4 crores. So it has come down significantly. Majorly, it's interest cost for LC payables.
Okay. And what is the level of interest? LC payables right now, and would it sustain at that level?
Yes, it will. But cost of interest is coming down because of our credit rating, which is also getting upgraded. We are trying to bring down the interest, but that is something which will continue. LC or you'll go with whichever is the most effective platform at a lowest interest rate. We'll be doing that.
Okay, can we annualize the H1 interest cost for even H2, or would it be slightly lower, Mayuresh?
It will be slightly lower. H2 will be slightly lower compared to H1.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from Surbhi Soni. Please unmute your line and go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the follow-up. I actually want to delve a little deeper in previous participants' questions. So firstly, do we have any ballpark revenue target for this year?
We've indicated that the target for this year is 20-25% growth.
20-25% growth. So that would come around 1,000 crores kind of a number, right?
It will be slightly more than that. It will be more than that.
Okay.
It will range between 1,050 to 1,100. It can be between those numbers, depending on how Q3 goes and Q4 goes.
Okay. And just a second. Okay, got it. Thank you. That's what my question was.
Okay.
Thank you. So anyone with a question can raise your hand. So we have a next question from Rohan Advant. Please go ahead. Rohan, please unmute your line and please go ahead with the question.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. My question was on the online channel, and if you look at, the online channel, while it's a good growth driver, it also is commoditizing, some products, right? There's a lot of private label, there is a lot of pure price-based competition, and, more and more brands are looking at online now versus maybe 2 years back. So how's our market share within these platforms, say Amazon, Flipkart, been shaping up? I think we would be very strong in mixer grinders, but in other categories, if you could just explain, category-wise, how are our market share shaping and what are the challenges of growing this brand in the newer products where we might not necessarily have the, higher reviews, then does this become challenging in terms of costs and campaigns that you might have to run to grow this platform? Thank you.
Online have grown very good for us. We've been increasing our market share and our market presence there. We've not reduced there. And whatever products we are present, we are in the top 3 in all the products. In some products, we are number 1 in e-commerce. And yes, competition is there. Even in the offline channels, there are brands which will try and cut your price and bring products at lower price. It's that e-commerce is a little easy for a new brand to enter. They are trying and enter. But even in spite of that, we've been growing faster than others. And definitely for sure, brand, after sales service, all those things plays a huge role that makes us grow faster than the new brands or the unorganized brands.
Okay. And in terms of our new product launches, how much would that launch be online focused versus online versus offline?
Oh, newer categories will be launched everywhere. It will be launched online and offline at the same time.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. All the best for the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We have some questions on the chat board. First is from Vinod C. Says, what is our rural-urban mix? What is it for the industry? And a large FMCG company has recently said that there's a rural slowdown. What are we seeing in this?
It's very hard to say a rural-urban mix, but rural is in fact growing faster. Q2, we had a very good rural growth. Q3, even in October, we are seeing a similar growth in rural areas. In fact, rural area, we feel that there's a lot of opportunity to grow, and there is also a huge demand for our products there. We are not actually seeing any slowdown in our segment. For us, we don't see that.
Thank you. Harmendra Gandhi asks, in e-commerce on marketplace, do you sell as third-party seller mostly, or you sell to them and then they sell it?
So we sell directly to Amazon and Flipkart. We don't sell it through distributors.
So we have a next question from Sagar Saxena. Sir, our tax rate for Q2 seems high. Any reason for this? When can we get back to 25% rate?
Okay, this I answered before. Yeah. Currently, we are at 33-34% levels because of some MAT credits which is pending. Even though our tax rate is high, the outflow is low. From next year, we will go into the normal levels at 25%.
Okay, thanks. Anand Shah asks, are we looking at entering OTG microwave and toaster category in near future?
Breakfast appliances includes toaster. Toaster is something which we will enter soon. OTG and microwave, we've not thought about it.
Okay. Rohan Advant asks, sir, you said that we are still small in modern trade. Could you explain the potential for this channel? How much does this contribute today versus its potential in 3 to 4 years?
Modern trade will grow multi-folds for us since our base is small. Modern trade, we feel when we reach a revenue of about 2,000 crore, modern trade will be about 250 crore for us.
Vinod C asks, would increasing LPG price impact any volume for the kitchen appliance industry?
See, all the prices have been increasing. Not only our components, even LPG is going up, diesel, petrol, everything is going up. We've not seen any slowdown yet.
So anyone with a question requested to either put it on the chat board or raise your hand. We'll just wait for a moment. So I believe there are no further questions. So I'd like to hand it. Okay, you'll just wait. There's a question from Ayush Agarwal. Please go ahead.
Mayuresh, congratulations on the good performance and the entire Butterfly team for that. Just one question from my end. If you can elaborate a little on your social media strategy, because last time you touched upon that you are looking at your social media presence as well. So because that has become important in these times. So some color on that would be really helpful.
Social media, digital marketing is all very, very important for us. There is an increased focus which is happening. We've started that. We are hiring a few agencies for that, and we are also hiring manpower for that. And that will continue to be one of the biggest areas of focus, because the market is these spends generally on the advertising is moving more towards digital spends, where the ROI is better than the traditional ways. So that is something which is going very fast for us.
So any major hiring, senior level hiring that you can expect in the marketing department going forward?
Yeah, we are getting it all the social media. We are getting it to influencer marketing. We've tied up. If you see, we are the main title sponsor for MasterChef in South in all the languages. So we've tied up with all the chefs there. So we've been doing a lot of work in that area.
That's good to know. That's it from us, and all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from Atul Vandana asks, so we have tie-up with HP Gas. Can we get details of other tie-up?
Sorry?
We have tie-up with HP Gas. Can we get details of other such tie-ups? Hindustan Petroleum is what.
So we have tied with all the oil marketing companies: HPCL, IOCL, BPCL.
We have tied up with all the channels. We've been selling through their distribution network for a long period now. In the last few years, the focus has been more towards traditional retail and online channels. We've reduced our focus there.
Pramod Agarwal asks whether we are planning for splitting of shares like TTK Prestige.
We have not thought about it yet.
Anuj Bansari asks, will it be fair to assume H2 will have 5 to 6% sales growth YOY in order to maintain annual outlook of 20 to 25% growth?
So we're very confident that we'll do that growth. If there is an opportunity to do more, we will definitely grab that opportunity.
We have next question from Rajil Shah from Manashvi Securities. It says, congratulations on good results. Question is on product strategy going forward. Currently, metal prices are on upswing. Any thought on diversifying from metal-based products to other materials like glass, ceramic, plastic-based products going forward?
So even plastics have gone up significantly in the last 1 year. A lot of areas the prices have gone up. If you see major electrical products like mixer grinder, with grinders, they're all not metal-based. They're more plastic-based. So we are currently focusing more on our small appliances. That will be the focus. we are getting it in newer categories, which we'll let you all know soon.
Thank you. So that was the last question from the call. I would like to. So we'll just take this last question again from the chat board. Have you continued tie up with Dentsu for brand endorsement?
I can't. Okay. I don't have any information on that now. So I can probably. I don't have any information on that currently.
So there's another question. What is your view on cooker and cookware market? Given it is a mature category, where do you see incremental opportunity? One large cooker brand has launched SKU at low price. Do you think that's where incremental opportunity is?
Cookware, even in the first half, we've grown significantly well. Q2, we've done about more than 60% growth to last year Q2. That will continue to be a very large focus for us. There are a lot of new SKUs which have been launched. This year, we've launched about more than 75 SKUs in the first half. We've done one of the highest launches in the last few years. So there'll be a lot of new products coming in, depending on what. There's a lot of market study going on, which the market wants. It doesn't necessarily go. It does not necessarily go to a lower price product. There are a lot of other products also which is coming in.
So that was the last question for the call. I'll like to hand over to the management for closing comments.
Okay, thank you all. It was a very informative session for us. Like we said, we would want to grow 20-25% this year. We would want to be one of the fastest growing kitchen appliances brand in India. And we will continue to inform everyone if there is any information on this. And wishing you all a very, very happy Diwali. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.